What's up, everybody? My name is Lewis. This is Cosmic Deer Review, and today we're going to be talking about a ghost story. A ghost story follows a man named C who gets killed in a car wreck and comes back as a ghost, and we follow him throughout the afterlife in a unique look at life, death, time, and the meaning of what we leave behind after we're gone. So, A Ghost Story is a film that I have been wanting to see for well over a year, I think. It's a small little indie film from A24, which if you watch this channel, I really like films from A24. And this is probably the most unique film that I've seen from them so far, and probably one of the most unique films I've seen ever. A Ghost Story is one of those very rare films that come along that does everything in such a experimental way. You either are really going to like it and get it, or you're not going to get anything and you're going to hate it. It's a very interesting experience to watch this film, especially in the cinema. So the film is a very slow paced film. It's only an hour and 30 minutes, but the film itself feels like 2 hours. The opening shots of the film have a lot of long shots, a lot of still straight on shots where things just happen in the frame, and they can last anywhere from half a minute to 4 minutes, like one particular scene in the film, which I won't spoil, but that scene almost made me want to quit the film. That was like the only real downside to the film, was this one particular scene about 10-15 minutes into the film. Basically what happens is person in set scene just does something that is so monotonous, and they do it for 4 minutes and it feels like it's 10 minutes. And the entire time this is happening, the ghost is in the background watching this happen. So while the ghost is watching said person do said thing, we are watching also. I get why it's there, and it definitely does hit you on an emotional level. After you get past that, the film does carry on at a relatively decent pace. It's still a slow film, but with more speed than the first act of the film. Cinematography in this film is gorgeous. Absolutely fantastic. There's no real crazy camera moves. It's very simple camera moves, simple pans, simple tilts, lots of long shots, as I stated before. It complements the film very well, really sets the mood and tone for this film. The editing is really impressive. There are some scenes where, seeing like the passage of time, for instance, you have the ghost standing in the living room and he's watching his wife go through a hallway into the living room out the front door, and as soon as the door closes, 2 seconds later, she comes through again, another day, and then another and another. The entire scene is just this one shot. It's just really creative editing that really sells the uniqueness of this. It really sells being with this ghost and being kind of stuck in this place and watching time go by. Days, months, years, and maybe even centuries is done seamlessly and flawlessly, and it's definitely one of the more engaging points of the film. There is hardly any dialogue in this film. I think the most dialogue in this film happens towards the end of it with a monologue from guy at a party. But yeah, there is little to no dialogue in this film. Most of the acting is done through movement, through expressions. It's very raw, it's very human. There is a lot of silence in this film. This is why I would stress, if you watch this film, try to watch it alone or with at least an audience that's not going to talk through the whole film, because if it's not one of those films, you have to actually sit down and pay attention to what's going on. The fact that there is little to no dialogue really helps you, the audience, focus on the picture and focus on the story, and I found it to be much more engaging than I think it would have been if there were characters talking throughout the whole film. Overall feeling I got from the film once I walked out of the theater was just wow. I had never seen a movie like this, and for me it kind of just put everything in perspective and really made me look at my life. I think this is one of those films that I can honestly say did change me a little bit. It definitely had an effect on me. Overall, I highly recommend A Ghost Story. It's definitely a unique and interesting look into the subject of life and death, and it's really good cinema, and I highly, highly recommend it. I'm going to give A Ghost Story 5 Cosmic Deers out of 5. Anyway, guys, that was my review of A Ghost Story. If you like what I do, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Anyway, guys, I will be back next week to review another film. Until then,